In this video, we will cover how to use Trifacta to make predictions using a previously trained ML model in DataRobot. In this case, we have already trained a DataRobot predictive model that predicts the likelihood of a patient being readmitted to the hospital. We will invoke this predictive model from within Trifacta on a set of new patients to estimate their risk of readmission. Let's begin with the DataRobot deployment. In your DataRobot deployment page, go to the Integration tab and make note of the API token, username, and deployment ID. Also be sure to get the DataRobot key from your DataRobot administrator. Once you have this information ready, you can now go into Trifacta to start the prediction process. The first step is to bring in the new patient information. You can do this by importing a data set, in this case a CSV file that contains the information about the new patients that need to be scored. Once imported, click on the data source icon and note the source URL of the file. Copy this URL into your clipboard. Then edit the recipe. Insert a new formula-driven column into the recipe to store the file name. In the formula field, paste in the URL you copied in the previous step. Now delete the other columns and remove duplicate rows so that you are left with only the file name in the recipe. Now add a user-defined function to the recipe to call the DataRobot predict function. Choose the file name field under columns and provide a comma delimited argument containing the values of API token, username, deployment ID, and DataRobot key. What you have now is the result of the DataRobot prediction API in JSON format. We will use Trifacta's built-in JSON parsing features to unnest the data field. Once we have the data field, we will further extract the key fields we are interested in. In this case, we just want the row ID and prediction column. We will keep these two columns and delete everything else. Now that we have the prediction results for each patient, the final step is to merge these predictions with the rest of the patient data. We will first give our recipe a name and call it predictions. Then we will create a new recipe against the source and create a row ID field with the source row number function. We now perform a join with the prediction data using row ID as the join key. We keep all the columns in the join output. The final step is to run a job to produce outputs. In this case, we create a CSV file that contains the result of the predictions. You can use these results to identify at-risk patients and take appropriate preventive action. You can even automate this whole data pipeline so that new patients are regularly evaluated for their risk of readmission. Thanks for watching. If you are interested in more information about the Trifacta DataRobot integration, please visit us at trifacta.com.